All right, what's up? So if you came here for a great breakdown of the election, you came to the wrong place. This is mostly going to be me sharing my emotional rants about how fucking garbage the Democratic Party is. But wow, a lot of people coming in already. Hey, what's up? So this is the chat working? It is. Check this out. Here you go. Yeah, I'm going live now, probably for about 10, 20 minutes. I'll answer your super chats as well if any come in. Um, but I just want to give you just kind of, I don't know, just just what's going on right now because it's insane. It's insane. Um, Now look, this election's really it's not normal. A lot of vote has not been counted. Some states count mail-in ballots, when they come. Other states don't count them till tonight and into the next several days. So it's really hard to actually tell what is happening in this race right now. But I'm gonna try to show you. I'm gonna try to show you what's going on, and then we'll all try to disseminate the information and figure out what's happening because. First of all, it's clear this is not a Biden landslide. That is obvious. That became obvious once he clearly did not win Florida. So you see there, polling on Florida, I believe had Biden ahead by like one or 2 points. You see here, Trump again. These votes I imagine are still coming in, but for the most part, they're all in. Trump, 51% there to 47, but. We have no result yet. Obviously, keeping an eye on Pennsylvania. This keeps going back and forth. It's been with. I checked 5 minutes ago. It was with Joe Biden. Now it's with. I have no idea what's going on. So a lot of votes still coming in. If we dig deeper and see which, like if we're talking about, I don't know, like Trump or Biden areas, I imagine are more heavily populated. But again, a lot of this vote, especially with Pennsylvania. It's going to be counted over the next several days. So we're just not going to know what happens with Pennsylvania, which is very key right now in this race. And you got here Wisconsin, like Michigan. There are states here that were not really supposed to be in play. This is how off. Okay, again, it's early. So, but making a big assumption here, assuming that this looks even remotely like what the actual result's going to be. Sorry, let me bring up the chat. So here we go. Get your interaction in here. But if this turns out to be even close to what this looks like right now, it's impossible to ever trust polling ever again. In 2016, look, the polling actually was not far off. The popular vote was right in line with what actually happened, Hillary winning by about 3 million votes. That was right in line with national polling. State by state, yes, we're getting some states in now, but these are obvious, Oregon. State by state, yes, it was there were, in 2016, it did move to Trump, but it was within the margin of error. So it wasn't completely off. But some of these states, I didn't think we'd be talking about Michigan tonight. Wisconsin was one that I guess could have been up in the air, but Biden was leading Wisconsin, I believe, by 8 points, if I'm not mistaken. Ohio, I assume Trump would win this, though you could argue maybe even closer than I assumed it was going to be. But look, this is madness. This is madness. This is insanity. Arizona. Got to keep an eye on Arizona. Apparently, Biden is actually looking fairly strong in Arizona, winning the counties that he should be winning here. So, but again, almost every lead Biden has had tonight has completely evaporated. So it's hard to really trust anything at this point. Let me show you in terms of actually. First, let me show you this. So. States that process mail-in ballots, or when they process it. So the yellow is before election day, green is upon receipt, and red is on election day before polls close. So we're looking at late counts for Wisconsin, late counts for Pennsylvania. These other two don't matter as much, but I'll get to this in a second. that's a very potential result here, a potential result for the election. But so we got to keep an eye on, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania right here is kind of what the election hinges on right now, and assuming Arizona holds. But let me show you. This was brought up before the election, and it was kind of brought up as a joke. Oh, what if this happened? I think this is still possible based on how, in fact, it's increasingly more possible as the night goes on. We're talking 269 tie. I mean, that's very possible. Let's compare these two maps right now. I think they're pretty close. So we got, Arizona, Biden winning Arizona, Colorado, Trump having Texas, Florida. Let's check out. Okay. Well, there we go. But that's still not called yet. This is really close. North Carolina. In fact, we're getting to the point where 269 may be optimistic for Joe Biden. And look, don't take my laughter as me not taking this seriously. I'm just laughing at the insanity of this all. I still don't believe how crazy this result is so far. I'm going to leave this up as I grab some chats here. I don't know why I'm not hearing. Okay, usually I hear the chats come in. I'm not hearing them today. But let me grab some chats. Oh, man. Liam saying, do you think the mail-in ballots will push Biden? Yes, I do. Which is why we got to keep an eye on Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Because these could... Right now, they're leaning Trump. But these could easily flip to Biden. I'm not really sure what's happening with Michigan. Half the votes counted, so we're still waiting for mail-in ballots there, I assume. Okay, so that could still move too. This is just a really weird election because of COVID-19, because of mail-in balloting. Things are they're not as predictable as an election would normally be, at least in terms of how the votes and the results roll out. So a lot of this is still super up in the air. But some more chats here. Joe Shalom says, relax, mail-ins will turn this around. I'm shocked that so many people still, hold up, it's not showing. Still don't realize this. Do some effing research. It depends on the states. Certain states count the mail-in ballots immediately. So that's why I showed you this. Like it changes depending on the state. Some states count them already. They're already in the total. Some don't. So which is why this is a very hard election to predict in terms of how the result rolls out. But I mean, look, Biden was leading in Florida and he lost. That's the count there is I mean, it's been called here. I'm not sure if it's been called on MSNBC, but I know some places have called Florida, some haven't. But look, it's solid here. Decision Desk is usually pretty accurate with their result. So I mean, we've seen the races over the night. Like this is not a solid result for Biden. The Senate races, Lindsey Graham won his race. Mitch McConnell, of course, won his race. Like there are. If you were expecting some kind of, big turnout for Joe Biden, it didn't happen. It's a close race. Regardless of how this all turns out, this is a much closer race than it should be. H. Lee says, we came here for you, rant for us. We appreciate you, man. Much thanks. To be honest, I'm not sure if I have the energy to properly rant right now, but I'll do my best. My hair was crazy, which is why I put a hairband on, because I was Albert Einstein earlier, but I'm still trying to absorb what's happening right now. Louis Denoya says, thanks for covering the election. The mainstream media is unwatchable. I've been flipping all over. I've been flipping between, MSNBC, Young Turks, Majority Report, Joe Rogan with Kyle Kalinske, the Surfs. I was on the Surfs for a bit there. I've been jumping all over to see what people are saying. But I will say MSNBC, Steve Kornacki, is that his name? Or I think somebody else. I get all these MSNBC people I mess up because they all look the same. Yeah, Steve Kornacki. I enjoy his electoral map breakdowns, so that is a reason to watch MSNBC. But otherwise, yes, I agree with you. Rachel Mercado says Biden is the scenic route to where we are headed. If we choose to not, why is my thing cutting off? If we choose to not participate beyond voting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Voting this is another point that's very important. Voting is just one piece. It's an important piece, especially when you're faced with a potential fascist here. But no, there has to be mass civic engagement. And apart from that, if you want real changes quicker, general strike. Put the economy or bring the economy to a halt, and people in power will be forced to act. But that kind of thing is really tough to organize with 300 million people. But if you want mass change faster, that's how you got to do it. H. Lee says, hey, y'all, give the video a like. Yes, please give the video a like. Hit the sub button. Thank you so much. Maja says, please stay on the live stream longer than 20 minutes. We need your rational insights. Look, I'm like 3 beers in. I'm drinking water now to try and maintain some sanity. I'm not sure how much rational insight I can give you, but I do have some more tweets here to share in a minute. Though who knows what has changed since these tweets have gone up, but I will share some more. Just want to keep it. Okay, look. Arizona's looking pretty good. 53% for Joe Biden there, to 45. So if you hold Arizona, potentially win Pennsylvania over the next few days, but in the meantime, Trump's going to claim victory. This is the issue. This is not going to be a night where Biden can come out and claim victory. It's very unlikely that's going to happen. But Trump, not caring about the actual result, it's very possible he'll come out and try and claim victory. And we'll get into a complete mess. But that's why I'm streaming early, because if that happens, I don't got to cover it till tomorrow. So I'm streaming this now, hopefully before Trump tries and claims victory. Gina McGrath says, no matter what the outcome is, the Democratic Party has some real soul searching to do. Yes, absolutely. I mean, this was obvious in 2016, and they didn't do it. But this is the issue. It's all about leadership. Understand, I've said this a million times. The Democratic Party is just a shell, and the people that run it decide what that shell does. In this case, you have Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Tom Perez, and the existing Democratic leadership. They ain't changing shit. Even if Biden got landslided tonight, they would not change their strategy. In fact, what they would do is they would go more conservative next time. So you have to replace leadership. That is what has to happen. You're already seeing the beginnings of that with primaries of AOC pushing out Joe Crowley, Cori Bush pushing out Lacey Clay. Lacey Clay now going to be in Congress. Fantastic, as is Jamal Bowman. Bowen pushing out Ellie Engel. So you have, that's the beginning of it. But you have to they got to get out Pelosi. I guess we'll see with Shahid Buttar tonight. It seems unlikely that he'll take it, but, I guess crazier things have happened. But even then, if Pelosi's out, Shahid Buttar isn't replacing her as leader. It's whoever's next in line. And right now, that entire leadership is just set up with a bunch of corporate Democrats. So you have to get rid of the entire leadership. You have, this is no real changes happening in the party until that happens. But understand, this is the closest you have to actual change. The Democratic Party is further along to what needs to be done than, say, a third party is. So there's no third party members in Congress. There's that's not even close. So the only legitimate shot right now that anybody has is through the Democratic Party. If you want real change right now, it's through the Democratic Party, meaning you have to replace leadership. You have to change who the party serves. But that takes time. People think all this stuff happens at once. It doesn't happen all at once. It takes time. And you're seeing it, as I just discussed, with some members of Congress, but it takes time to get these people out. Mandy Soul, thank you for your super chat. Decky G says, guy from Ireland here, living in California. I feel like I'm looking into the asylum, but in reality, I'm a reluctant patient inside the asylum. Will it get easier? Will it get easier the crazier I get? I think it's a bit of a typo there, but yes. I imagine if you're from Ireland in this case, or just abroad in general, and you are now living in the U.S., must be kind of crazy for you, because this is in my video earlier today, discussing my prediction for the election. I brought up a poll from Canada where I believe it was, I should bring it up again, but it was like, I think it was 80%, 85% people of Canadians back Joe Biden over Donald Trump. And the national polling was nowhere near that for Joe Biden in the U.S. The majority of the rest of the world understood that Trump needed to go. Apparently, Americans themselves didn't get the memo. But look, it's looking better. Biden leading right now. Again, all of this stuff is just... It's unlikely we're going to get a final result, as I said, tonight. Got to keep waiting. Liam says a lot of Arizonans vote by mail. I live in Arizona. We could see results like Arizona later after all is counted. By the way, I love your hair. Thank you. Well, if that's the case, then I imagine it would just benefit Joe Biden, as voting by mail, at least supposedly, supposed to be benefiting Joe Biden. And Biden's already leading there. So, I mean, that's a 53% or about 54% with an estimated 73 to 88% of the vote in. That seems like it's a small lead, but it's enough of a lead that this could result in Biden taking Arizona, which would definitely alleviate some anxiety. But the election shouldn't be this close. That's kind of the issue here, is the election is way closer than it actually should be. But let me show you some other stuff here. So there is now a QAnon person is now going to be in the U.S. House. There you go. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she was expected to win. I think there's actually another one, if I'm not mistaken. I believe there's a second QAnon person that was not as expected to win, but won her race or his race. Some potential good news here, though, I got to say, as everything is changing all the time. This was at 10:22 p.m., so almost an hour ago. Nate Cohn here tweeting out, we have some good news for Democrats in North Carolina, where a reporting error by Randolph County is padding Trump by about 30,000 in our estimate there. They reported both in person and absentee mail together, but the Needles still expecting 45,000 early votes. Okay, so showing you just kind of how messed up this entire night is. A lot of these results here, again, are not final. That said, it would have been nice to see Florida flip. It would have been nice to see Georgia. Would have been nice to see North Carolina, though I got to say it's close. I guess there's still time to move that one. Though most of the vote is in, so maybe not. Texas would have been nice, but clearly never had a chance. Never had a chance. Holly Otterbein tweeting this out. So initially, this is what I mean by things changing all the time. She had tweeted saying, Philadelphia officials say they will not be reporting any more mail-in ballot results tonight. About 76,000 have been tallied so far out of 350,000. And remember, Biden supporters are disproportionately voting by mail. But then updated it later saying, update, Philadelphia officials tell me they will report more mail-in ballot results between midnight and 1 a.m. The next batch will be reported at 9 a.m. So, yeah. A lot of vote not in yet, but this is what I'm saying. Every hour, like I bet I could check Twitter right now, and there's like 1,000 new stories that just came up. I also want to share this, as I was pointing out earlier at the beginning of the stream, how garbage this candidate is. Biden campaign. This is from Yahoo News. This is a headline, I believe, from a few weeks ago, but Anna reminding us of this. Oh, May 14th. There you go. Biden campaign doesn't consider Latinos part of their path to victory. Political operatives say. Pretty dumb. Pretty dumb. This could have helped in Florida, of course. Could have helped in Texas. Potentially Arizona. But I guess we'll see what happens there. Nevada. Actually, where's Nevada? Not in yet. All right. Look at that. Biden also needs Nevada. And who knows what's going to happen at this point. All right. So I'm at the end of what I prepped here. Let me just leave this up as I quickly check Twitter in front of me, see if a million other stories have popped up, as I'm sure they have, and what is worth discussing here. But, like, God, we told you guys. In the primary, this is what the fight was about. And then once the primary was over, I mean, my focus was on how garbage Trump was and getting him out. But I never made any excuses for Biden. Biden was never a good candidate. I brought that up a number of times in the past several weeks. He was never a good candidate. But this election has always been about getting out Donald Trump. But now that we're faced with the reality that it's a lot closer than a lot of polling predicted, it just shows you what garbage the party is and what garbage this candidate was. And once again, they screwed over the one candidate that would have easily won. But as I rant here, scrolling through Twitter, I'm not sure what's happening. If anything else here is worth discussing. I mean, I'm sure there is a million things worth discussing, but here's some good news. I mean, this is obvious, but here's some good news. I mean, we all knew, but AOC, Ilhan Omar, Anna Presley, Rashida Tlaib, they're still good. I did save some links earlier. Let me pull those up. This is my favorite. Oh, there's more now. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay. Check out these Fox News viewer polls. Changing to a government-run healthcare plan. 39% strongly favor. 33% somewhat favor. Only 14% somewhat oppose. 15% strongly oppose. The Fox News viewer poll, they back government-run healthcare, which this is a loaded question. This is a way to actually try and discourage people from supporting it, saying government-run as opposed to saying Medicare for all or universal healthcare. But government-run still has a majority of support here. Another one. Supreme Court action on Roe v. Wade. Leave as is. 71% want them to leave Roe v. Wade as is. Again, I'm not sure who they polled here, or if this I'm not sure if this was an online poll or what the hell this was, but whatever it is, looking pretty good. U.S. gun laws should be more strict. 55%. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. What should happen to illegal immigrants in U.S.? Pathway to citizenship. 72%. I will most definitely do a video on this tomorrow. See if there's more here. How concerned about the effects of climate change are you? 46% say very. 26% say somewhat. Man. Who's taking these polls? I don't know who it is, but They're great. Increasing government spending on green and renewable energy. Strongly favor, 37. Somewhat favor, 33. Again, fantastic result. Donald Trump's approach to Russia. Too tough, says 4%. Not tough. This, I don't even really care. I think when it comes to foreign policy, having a dialogue is a lot less likely to lead to a war. So I'm always for more dialogue. I don't think being tough is somehow inherently good, as often is the way it is discussed in the press. But whatever. Role of government should do more. 60%. Fantastic. All right. Let me leave this map up. See if there's any more chats here. How are there 5,000 people watching? What is this? Why? Why are you watching me? What can I possibly be offering you that you're not getting on the 1,000 other people currently streaming? But let me grab some chats here. I mean, I'm like mumbling words as I have 3 beers in me. But also a lot of candy. I did have a lot of candy, so maybe that has perked me up a little bit. I'm trying to find my place. Here we go. Jeff McKay says, so if Trump wins the popular vote but loses the Electoral College, I don't think that's going to happen. That's not going to happen. But anyways, reading your chat. If Trump wins the popular vote but loses the Electoral College, will he claim he should win because he won the popular vote? If that's what happened, if that's what happens, he definitely would do that. 100%. Can you imagine in 2016? If Hillary Clinton won the Electoral College but Trump won the popular vote, we would still be hearing about it to this day. They would have found some way, even in the minority, they would have found some way to change the laws so that it was the popular vote that decided the election. I mean, they would have been going nuts. But of course, when it works in their favor, they think it's perfectly fine. But obviously, regardless of the results, the popular vote should decide who the president is. I think that is obvious. But it shows you how weak Democrats are. They continue winning the popular vote and continue losing elections and still do nothing about trying to change the system. Just a total shit party. That's why you have to replace the people in it. Swirly Swirl says, I hate this radical right-wing country. Can Canada please just take us over? Also, Pennsylvania still has 100,000 votes, or 100,000 plus votes left to count. Yeah, Pennsylvania, look, I'm not calling Pennsylvania yet. They're at 70%. A lot of mail-in balloting still needs to be counted over the next several days, which is going to more than likely lean heavily for Joe Biden. So, yeah, can't call Pennsylvania yet, but you know Trump will try to. That's the issue, is he will try to do whatever he can to make this chaotic. But in terms of Canada, look, we have issues. And a big part of the problem with us is Canadians often look to the U.S. And if we're just a little tiny bit better, a sliver better than Americans are, then that's enough. Which becomes a serious problem, of course. Something just changed. But that becomes a serious problem. I think Iowa just moved back to... Yeah. Anyways, that becomes a serious issue when Trump's the president. When Trump is the bar for Canada, then that clearly keeps the conversation within, certain boundaries. And it's a serious issue in this country when trying to do anything that's worthwhile in terms of progress. People just don't see the need to do it because they look to the U.S. and think, well, let's not rock the boat too much because at least we don't have Trump. But that should not be the bar for anybody. There's a lot more in this country that we have to do. But the entire political discussion and comparing us to the U.S. holds us back. Michael Wilson says, Kyle and Joe are done. Over to you, my handsome prince. Really? They ended the show? Oh. I mean, it is late, I guess, for them, maybe. But The election sure ain't over. Rachel Mercado says striking isn't the only way to be active in our democracy. We still have a right to assembly. We still have access to information to educate ourselves and other people. Yeah, how's that working out? How's that education process working out? The media has done really the bulk of the work here. When it comes to what you're looking at right now, that is largely the media in the U.S. over the past 30 years. Once Fox News took hold and I guess re-educated or brainwashed enough people, hard to come back from the amount of boomers that watch that shit. And not just Fox News, just right-wing media in general. AM radio, another massive piece where the left doesn't even really have any place in. And, I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure who in the left listens to AM radio, but that's kind of the problem is, what comes first, the audience or the station? So if there was a proper investment into AM radio from the Democratic Party or from the left, you may be seeing a different map right now. So media does so much to keep people into certain lanes and have people on these different teams. This is what this race has really come down to. It's like sports. You pick your team. For many people, that's what they do. They pick their team and they don't really stray from that. And you're seeing that today. Despite all the destruction that Trump has caused, his complete failure on COVID-19, you still got this. And obviously, another big piece of that is the Democratic Party and Biden did not do enough to actually tell people how much of a failure Trump was. They did not do enough in terms of comparing Trump and the U.S. Numbers of COVID to other countries. They didn't do enough to tell people about how Trump canceled a plan to send 5 masks to every household back in April. How do you not bring that up? Why aren't there 1,000 ads about how Trump canceled sending masks to everyone back in April? But like, the party and Biden, they're not even just failures in terms of progressive policy, which is obvious, which is what I normally focus on, but they're also failures in terms of just politics. They do not know how to fight the right, and this is within their grasp. Like, I get it when it comes to them pushing down or suppressing progressive voices within the party, but just in terms of trying to win, trying to fight Republicans. If you can't even call out Trump properly, then really, what the fuck are you doing? Just total disaster. Chad Norman, thank you for your super chat. I feel like I read that in an angry tone of voice, but I was just coming off a rant. I apologize. Maya Izuchi, I'm sure I said your name wrong, but says, here, cut your hair. Cut your hair. I will not. If this is the map, I'm sorry. You have not earned a haircut. If it was a Biden landslide, then you would have earned a haircut. But this is not haircut worthy. Not at all. Matthew Fish, dude, you rock. Don't sell yourself short. I'm glad to be here. Cheers. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Sidechain Recording, very generous super chat, as you all are, of course. Sidechain Recording says, can you put out a book list? I've been reading Naomi Klein, Daniel Immerwahr, I don't know how to say the name, Stephen Greenhouse, Chris Hedges, Peter Joseph. I need more. Sure, I guess. To be honest, I'm not a huge, I'm not the person to ask that question to. I don't have a giant stack of books in front of me here. But you named some good ones there. Naomi Klein, of course. I've read a couple of her books. But yes, definitely, in general, I think people need to do a little more reading. I mean, again, when that's the result. And not even just more reading. Reading the proper things, I think, is the issue. Jerome D says, can this Fox News poll be any more ironic? Hello from Montreal. Thank you, Jerome. Gloria Delgado says, can't wait for corporate media to blame Latinos if Biden loses. The blame will go everywhere but themselves, I'm sure. That's how it normally works. Unknown Hinson says, look, folks, stop the malarkey. Why aren't the youngins voting for me? I don't think you did a good job there, considering your name is not Joe Biden. I did not believe you were Joe Biden, but yes, that essentially was Joe Biden's entire line. Paul Hardister, do you think Michigan is going for Trump because of Lil Pimp? Who is actually Lil Pump, right? Not Lil Pimp. That whole thing, just funny. But no, that definitely not the reason. Andrew Dwyer says Mondaire Jones is losing? Question mark. Is he? I have no idea. I gotta check that one out. This is the other issue. There are too many races going on. Covering the general election is tough enough, let alone all of the Senate races, let alone all of the House races. It's too much. It's too much. I'm gonna have to find some other way to absorb all this information. There's just too much happening. Hopefully somebody has a proper breakdown tonight or tomorrow that I can read through and really see in terms of the highlights of races that were important. But right now I have no idea. Yash Bahedi says, it's bizarre to me that it's this close. Trump should be losing in a historical landslide. The guy was impeached this year. Thank you for bringing that up, because that almost was never brought up. How do you have the president get impeached? And I don't even think Biden mentioned it once. I really don't. I don't think he brought it up once. If he did, maybe he was at a campaign stop. But like during a debate, did he ever bring up the fact that Trump was impeached? Historically garbage. Historic in how terrible that campaign was. Anyways, you say the guy was impeached this year. Feels like people have forgotten about it. I know I have, and half the issue is the Democratic Party not actually discussing it. Bernie would have murdered Trump. I agree with you. Again, this election shows you need people to vote for. Understand, God, it looks really bad right now. It really does. But it looks terrible, actually. But Biden is still seems very likely to win. Nevada is really important. But still this is obviously not the ideal result, but still very likely even that Biden does win. Because Wisconsin, going to have to wait a bit for that. Pennsylvania, going to have to wait a bit for that. And then if he takes Arizona, I think that's good. But Jesus Christ, it's way too close. Lost my place. Where am I? Here we go. Did I read this wrong? Anyways, Big A05 says Mississippi just passed medical cannabis. Excellent. Good. Movement in the right direction. Yeah, some of these ballot measures are breaking in the right direction. I believe Florida passed a $15 minimum wage ballot measure. I got to check some others. New Jersey, I believe, also passed a cannabis law, but I got to check. That's the other aspect. We're talking about presidency, Senate, House, ballot measures, too much happening. Law Gnome says, clearly there's a messaging problem. Dems are too focused on posturing and not enough on policy. Thanks for all you do and have done to educate instead of sinking into gossip and rumor peddling. People's Party 2022. Thank you, Law Gnomes. Crispy says, incoming, it will be Bernie's fault. You know what? They can try. It's not going to happen this time. Not going to work this time. Even the media was having to admit that Bernie was doing all he could to get Biden elected. Who was it recently? I think I covered this. Man, I'm blanking on names. It's too late. But somebody who was in the Bill Clinton campaign or administration, I believe, credited Bernie Sanders for putting in the work for Joe Biden. And it wasn't just a lot of people did that. So, they're going to try. I'm sure some people will try, but it would be ridiculous to blame Bernie. This is just showing you how weak the party is. But ultimately, they're going to, whatever they do, they're not going to blame themselves. That's for sure. So they will find other people to blame. They're not going to blame their strategy. Landon Gassett says, so you think John Delaney is going to make a comeback and win? I do. I never want to hear John Delaney's name again. Sandra Brungard says, please stay with us. TYT majority have no map. Well, here you go. I mean, I could just sit here in silence the entire time and just take in super chats. I guess I could do that. Mr. Jerry says, love your content. I have a huge man crush on you. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mr. Jerry. Appreciate the super chat. Oh, Jesus. Is that everybody? Oh, more coming in. The Progressive Update says if Trump wins, will be unrestricted with Rep Senate. Oh, I think you're trying to say here, if Trump wins, then he will have a Republican Senate. I think that's what you're trying to say. He wouldn't be unrestricted. I mean, Democrats have won the House. They have the House. So regardless, Trump's not going to have, again, making a lot of assumptions here. Very likely Biden wins. But if Trump wins, he does not have the House to work with him. Edward Cote says it was Paul Begala who gave Bernie and AOC credit. Yes, Paul Begala. That's who it was. I blanked on the name, but yes. Leanne Amanda Anderson, thank you for your super chat. OJ Mountain says, would you rather have John Delaney or Amy Klobuchar as Prez? I would say Klobuchar. John Delaney was too anti-progressive, whereas Klobuchar was more about trying to sell you on her moderate approach. At least she was honest with her approach. John Delaney, instead of trying to sell his approach, was trying to just attack, Medicare for all endlessly. So I would prefer Klobuchar over Delaney for that. But let's hope neither. Matthias N says, you were thinking of Paul Begala. Yes, thank you. Liam says 6,000 people here because 6,000 people. Oh, yeah. 6,000 people watching. Amazing. Because we love your hair. Disregard the outliers. Well, considering it's back in a hair band, you can't really tell what's going on with the hair. So it looks all neat right now, but in reality, it's a mess. All right, this is the point of the night. I would bring up, see what MSNBC is saying, see what CNN's saying, see what Fox News is saying, but I can't do that on YouTube or I'll be pulled down. So unfortunately, there's only so much I can offer you. But this map should keep changing with the times here, with whatever's happening. Again, we're not going to have a result tonight. And it's hard for me to know what is actually going on here. You know what? I'm not sure how much longer I'll be on here, but I'm going to have cable news on in the corner just in case somebody, gives a speech, in case something big happens. I don't want to be too out of the loop here. But, oh, man. Pennsylvania not looking good. I'm looking at MSNBC, 56.4 to 42 for Trump. Okay, this number's different. All these numbers are different. Wow. I'd pull this. Briefly, I can pull this up. Look at this. I can't. That's the wrong thing. Hold up. Here we go. Look at that. 56.4 to 42.1. What? Had to pull it away before the stream caught on. But anyways, again, mail-in ballots not in there. So it's easy as I just did to get sucked in and be like, wow, this looks terrible, which it is terrible. But a lot of votes in Pennsylvania, especially in major cities like Philadelphia, still yet to be counted. So can't be too gloomy just yet. But I'm just still reeling from how insane this is. It really shouldn't be. It shouldn't be anywhere near this close. Some more chats here. Lee Fairweather, thank you for your super chat. Longbow Gaming says, if Trump wins again, how will we deal with him cutting down the Tongass forest and literally hurting our ability to breathe? Let's think about this stuff later. I can't take it all at once. Shreyas, I can't say your last name. I can try. Sashi Dananda. There you go. Thank you for your super chat. I am a long username. Says progressive commentators should promote compulsory voting. Anna Jackson. I mean, everybody. Voting really, like, again, it's important to reiterate. Voting is not the end all be all. It's important to stay engaged regardless. And whether you're involved in a union, a political group, whatever it is, there has to be something else you are doing to stay engaged in the political process. If all you do is come out and vote, it's just not enough. Especially if you're watching me, you know better. You have the knowledge to understand you should be doing more. So even if it's just like talking, I get it. People have busy lives, right? Like that's the real issue is you have to make a living. You have to live. But even if it's just talking with friends and family and trying to inform people and get people on the right path, you got to be doing something. Anna Jackson says, David, I am so exasperated. I don't even have a comment. Just want to say hello. Tonight makes my head hurt. I hear you. Thank you for the chat. Vera says, hashtag team no haircut. No, team no haircut has been winning, I have to say. I see both comments. I think for me, the comments that say get a haircut stick out the most because I'm not getting a haircut. So I tend to take the negative reactions, or they tend to stick out more than the positive reactions. But if we tally it all up, no haircut definitely wins. Thank you, Vera, for your very generous super chat. Paul Hardister says Trump wants to go with election night. Trump wants to go with election night. According to Stormy Daniels, he likes to finish early. Michael Novello, thank you for your super chat. Tayray88 says, what will happen to the Lincoln Project if Trump wins? You know what? That would be the only benefit. That would be the only benefit coming out of that scenario. Is their entire project, no pun intended there, their entire project would be useless, would be rendered a failure. So I'm not really sure what they would do, but that's a good question. Laura M. Ipsum says, so all that early voting in Texas was Republicans? I don't know what. Look, I mean, I got to go back and compare it to 2016 because I'm not sure how close it was in 2016. I think Biden got a better result than 2016, but I don't know. I don't know exactly. The Last Scout. I mean, then again, in my prediction, which I did bring up by accident earlier, this was my prediction. I never had, even in my estimate here, I never had Biden winning Texas. And in fact, looking back, I think Georgia may be even more likely than Florida was. But I don't know. We're gonna have to see where this all goes. The Last Scout says, earlier in beginning with the primary, I said if Biden is picked, Trump's gonna win then. Oh, lack of commas messes me up. I said earlier in beginning with the primary, I said if Biden is picked, Trump's going to win. Then when COVID hit, I said there was a small path and goddamn Trump threaded the needle like never before. Yeah. Yes. That's what happened. Threaded the needle indeed. But again, count still coming in. Can't act like this is... Pennsylvania will take till the end of the week. So a lot of this we just don't know. Like that's the issue here. Wisconsin as well. Like we got estimated 64% to 74% of the vote in. A lot of the remaining votes going to be Democrat. It's a close race right now, so that can easily swing back to Biden. I feel like Michigan should have not been this close. But this is half the vote. So there you go. Again, we could be looking at, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all pushing for Biden, plus Arizona. I mean, at that point, Biden's good. But because of the early vote, we have to wait. Juan Guevara says, what do you think would result from a Trump second term should he win? Will he be more hawkish in foreign policy? Yes, he will. Also, I love you, David. No homo. It's okay if you were. I think... I don't want to think too much down that road yet, honestly. Let's wait. I've discussed it in the past. I think if Trump wins... One second. If Trump takes his election... I don't know. Let's wait before we get down that path. Lou Cabrera, thank you for your super chat. Danielle Velez says, love the hair, don't cut it. By the way, if Trump wins, I'm coming to Canada. Can I stay with you? I don't have strangers in my home, but I do appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the chat. Thank you so much. And you also got to wait till the borders open. COVID is a serious issue, and ain't no one coming to Canada if that border's closed. Gazelle Abadi, thank you for your super chat. Hugo, y'all push me with these names. Hugo Castellanos. Oh, I got that. I nailed that one. Hugo Castellanos says, your hair okay, but it's the bread that brings the ladies. What? It's the bread that brings the ladies. All right. All right there. How much longer should we go here, guys? Like, it's getting kind of late. I mean, really? Mentally for me, it should be an hour ahead. So it's actually 12:53. I've been going to bed at 11 o'clock recently because I'm an old man. I'm past my bedtime, but I don't know, why is this taking so long? Why is it taking so long? All right, I don't know. I feel like I'm always missing what's happening because I'm not on Twitter, but a lot of people saying we could have had Bernie. Bernie would have won. Always seeing a lot of that. Like almost every other tweet on my timeline is Bernie would have won. That's pretty funny. Sorry, got lost, as I normally do, in Twitter. More chats coming in. Love Crazy says, Red Mirage? Yeah, apparently. Paul Hardister says, I predict no haircut wins popular vote, but haircut still could take the Electoral College. Then I really would not know what to do. Gala says, if Trump hasn't won by noon tomorrow, then he'll be buried by the mail-in ballots. Here's hoping Barr doesn't run interference. I'm leaning towards what you're saying. I do think once the mail-in ballot is counted, I mean, look at 2016, guys. On election night, I don't believe Hillary was even leading by 1 million votes. And then by December 21st, she was leading by about 3 million in the popular vote. So yes, once all the vote is in, a lot could potentially change. But in that time frame, that's the issue. Between now and then, what Trump does and any possible potential legal challenges, that's the issue. Danielle Velez, thank you for your chat. Oh, sorry, no. Thank you for becoming a member. Danielle Velez is a new member. Thank you so much. Decky, by the way, if you want to become a member, join button below on YouTube, or if you prefer Patreon link is in the description box as well. Help support the show. Help buy me some more coffee. I only had 1 coffee today. I had 1 coffee in the morning. I don't know how I'm still awake and getting out sentences. Decky G says, Kanye got votes. This is what I mean about asylum. Kanye didn't get many votes. And if he got votes, honestly, I think he pulled more from Trump votes than he did from Biden. But Kanye thought he was going to win. I think he said God wants him to win or something like Well, I guess God doesn't love Kanye because he did not win. Fonjo says, can we get some real comments on Nevada and where it is? This is the issue. I have no idea. This is my... I can see if 538... If their update has something. Let me check. Same thing here. So 538 goes right to ABC, but yeah, not really seeing much for Nevada. I guess you see Trump 91%, but this is with less than 400 votes or about 400 votes. So that's not really anything. I don't know. As you see here, so this map is maybe a little more accurate right now. If I zoom out a little bit so you can see the entire thing. Because this makes it look like a lot of these states are called like these when they're not. So maybe if I leave this one up, even though Florida, I mean, okay, they're saying 96% reported in Florida. Decision Desk was saying 99%, and they called it for Trump. But ABC still has not called Florida, so or Georgia for that matter. Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of this could change. So let me keep this map up just to maybe return a bit of our sanity for the time being. Because this is actually how the race looks right now in terms of states that are called or not called. Michael Novello says, please give a shout out to my dog Karma. Hey Karma, how's it going? Karma, sit. Good dog. All right. Wait, is Karma alive still? I didn't finish the sentence. Feel like... Okay, no. I was reading your chat wrong. Yes, Karma is alive. She would have beat Trump in a landslide. I thought you were about to say she would have loved this election, as in she died. But no, she would have beat Trump in a landslide. Yes, your dog would have beat Trump. Good dog. Swirly Swirl says we get to throw the loss if it happens in DNC's face, right? Go full scorched earth. But yes, but we also did that in 2016. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, I of course will do that. But ultimately the issue is democratic leadership. Because the people at this point, they're on our side. When it comes to policy issues, they're on our side. The issue is who runs the Democratic Party. Until those people are taken out and until the working class have some actual power through unions, for example, then they can keep doing the same thing and keep losing. Ken Clive says, whoever wins, we now know the extent to which people don't have basic civics knowledge. Keizer Jose says, an implosion was always plan B. Sidechain Recording says, vote karma. I agree, vote karma. Ryan Cerny, the bookworm, says, never watched your channel before 5 minutes ago, but I love your laid-back demeanor, so have a good one. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Glad you appreciate it. I just lost my place. Love Crazy, yes, says, lots of people in around here planning parties. I can't read now. We're at that part of the night. 12 a.m. Lots of people in round here or around here planning parties as if we'll know ish tonight. Well, I mean, part of the party aspect is just watching the election with friends. I mean, though I hear you, yes, if they were expecting a result, then they're not going to get one. But I'm sure they still enjoy their night getting drunk. Renee Sundaram, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, Renee. Fonjo says, what do you think about Nevada and North Carolina? Just looking at Nevada and North Carolina. I need your commentary, man. Well, again, I can only go off of what's happening. Nevada is expected to go for Biden, but a lot of things are expected that don't happen. So I don't know. I'm expecting it to go for Biden. In terms of North Carolina, I believe that's leaning Trump right now, though it's very close. Though let me check out ABC's count on the ballots. ABC saying 95% of the vote is in. It's 50 to 49. It's possible, if this is the case, North Carolina could still go for Biden. Very possible. And Nevada is just too early. There's almost no votes in yet, so gotta wait. Hugo says, it's the beard. It's late and I'm tired. And I'm in Texas and a little sad. The full vote should be here on Friday. Yes, it should. Let's hope we can wait that long. Decky G, thank you for becoming a member. Labiba K says, did you hear about historian Alan Lichtman predicting that Biden will win? He predicted all presidential elections accurately for the past 40 years. Well, good. Let's hope he's correct. Dr. Dragon says, hey, David, any advice how to deal with parents who are Trump supporters and always say the politics I support always say the politics I support say it won't work, even though I explained it works. It's a media issue. There's nothing you can do you're not going to convince anybody in a conversation. The most you can do is plant seeds and then hope they come to their own conclusions. But like anybody going into like a conversation with like a Trump, you're not going to just flip a Trump supporter in a conversation. It's not going to happen. It's your parents likely watch certain media, Fox or OAN or AM radio, whatever the hell they do. And that's why they think the way they think. Or it's also possible, maybe your parents are incredibly wealthy and they like the tax cuts, or maybe they are socially conservative. I don't know. But convincing people of anything when it comes to politics takes time. You can plant seeds, have conversations, be calm. Don't make them feel stupid. In fact, if they change their minds, you have to do it in a way where you make them think that they came to that conclusion, as opposed to you telling them to think that way. So all of that takes persuasive speech, takes time, takes dedication, but it also takes them being able to absorb information that is coming from outside their echo chamber, which is kind of the hardest part. Fonjo says, can you give me a 5-minute rant on Twitter right now and how annoying they're being? Give you a 5-minute rant on Twitter? Oh, Twitter's fine. I don't know. I've barely been on Twitter tonight, so I can't give you a rant on Twitter. I enjoy Twitter, and the parts that I don't enjoy, I just don't engage with. That's all you gotta do. Just if it's bothering you, close the phone. Don't look at it. Adam Bryson says, I don't believe this map at all. LOL, they cheated. Scott Altern says, thanks for all the great content and reporting. This keeps moving. King Doc says, let's just divide into the 3 countries, New England, the West Coast, and whatever's left we'll call corn. That's funny. Noah Crowley, thank you. Hopefully no relation to Joe Crowley. Thank you for the super chat. Danielle Velez says, I was joking about staying with you, but yes, I want out of the U.S. If this maniac wins, I'm losing hope in humanity. I have friends in Vancouver. There you go. In fact, if I was moving from somewhere else into Canada, the first place I'd go is BC, because you get the ocean and you get the mountains. Why would you ever want to come to Toronto? I don't know. But if you are coming with a blank slate, definitely British Columbia. Though it's expensive, so you got to find a less expensive area, but you can find them in BC. Teresa Messenger, thank you for the super chat. Noah Crowley says, just want a name you can pronounce. Just want a name you can pronounce. Noah Crowley, I can pronounce that. Fonjo says, can I get your thoughts on the fishermen in Canada that were going hard against the natives? I discussed this a couple weeks ago. I can't. I'm 3 beers in. I'm absorbed in this shit right now. There's no way I can give you a proper discussion. It's a serious topic, so I don't want to, I don't want to engage with that topic now when I'm not in the mindset for that. Fonjo says, I think you should stay on. You'll get new visitors because people are staying in YouTube. Oh. Yeah, but at some point, I got to get out of here. Ivan Galina says, wait, when will the votes be fully counted? Well, in 2016, it took a couple months. It took till December 20th for it to be reported anyways, the full count. Because we didn't know that Hillary led Trump in the popular vote by about 3 million votes until late December. So in terms of this election, I don't know. But in terms of important states, like Pennsylvania, like Wisconsin, it's going to take a few days. Joel Lapointe says, a lot of folks say they want to move if they lose. Can you speak to the importance of staying in place to fight the good fight, to engage, change minds? I think a lot of what you're seeing, though, is people just acting on emotion. They think they're going to move, or in the moment they want to move, until they realize it's not easy to immigrate to Canada. I don't know the immigration laws here, but I know it's not easy to immigrate here, at least not from the U.S. So, good luck. The reality is, yeah, of course, stay, fight, be engaged. But I can't tell people what to do. They're going to make their own minds up. And ultimately, they're going to discover that it's way too hard to move out of the country and decide to stay. Muller's Game says, worked the polls today. Good work. Lots of first-time voters, new voters, only one anti-masker that put everyone in danger. Administration wasn't having it. Good. Thank you for working the polls. That's a hell of a job, especially during COVID. Stream walls, don't build them, says I voted in Texas, hoping to help it turn blue. I got my sister to be more informed and everyone I could to go out and vote. I feel so heartbroken. Don't feel heartbroken. Look, people did what they could. You're never going to have a guarantee, no matter how much work you put into something. But I think you should feel good about the fact that at some point within the next 10 years, for sure, Texas is going blue. It's just a matter of time. So don't feel too bad. Noah Crowley says, no relation to Joe Crowley or Alistair. Awesome. Matthew Fish says, Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Sorry. Uh, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania state officials declared to their residents that votes will not be counted till Friday. Jesus. All right. Well, there you go. We're gonna have to wait. I mean, Pennsylvania, I knew it was gonna take till Friday. Um, but yeah, as I showed earlier, at least I knew it would take a few days. So I guess a few days is Friday. But this is, I guess we're now hearing this officially. But all right then. I really hope we don't have to wait till then, but we're gonna have to see. RN says, I'm losing my voice now. My throat is getting hoarse. RN says, do you use a curl enhancer? No, I do not. I put zero effort into my hair. I'm glad you think I put effort into it because I don't. But no, I don't. Duplo Misette says, are you wearing pants? I am. Shorts. I'm wearing shorts, not pants, but close enough. I would never go live on a stream not wearing pants, just in the case I have to stand up. So, yeah. But even then, I'm more comfortable wearing pants when I'm sitting on a chair as opposed to not. Adam Bryson says, have they counted most mail ballots or no? It depends on the state. Depends on the state. So I can't give you an overall estimate. Tomas Mundo, thank you for your super chat. Levi Rosing says, is the polling business done after this election? I mean, we're going to have to see how this turns out, right? Like, the issue here, again, is the staggered ballots. How everything's counted. That said, some of these states, like Florida, looked a lot closer in polling than they actually are. So there's definitely going to have to be a reassessment of how things are done, for sure. Okay, I am getting a sore throat. Gonna have to leave in a bit here. Jane Malik, thank you for your or for becoming a member. Alex Ramirez says, breaking, Pete Buttigieg declares victory in U.S. presidential election. I think I've seen that joke a number of times now, but it never gets old. Danielle Velez says, in terms of it not being so easy to move, I'm fairly cute, so maybe I can find a Vancouver national to marry me. One can hope, yes. Yes, you can definitely hope. Leo Finn, Fishing Gaming Humor, says, greetings from Finland. Go Team Biden. Thank you. Thank you, Leo. All right, I'm definitely losing my voice. Hope this ain't COVID, but it's a little sore right now. Just glancing at MSNBC stream, see what they're saying. They're still showing Florida not decided, Texas not decided, Arizona not decided. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Their entire map is basically exactly what this is. So. I was really hoping to be done with this shit tonight. Really hoping we could be done with this shit tonight. But not happening. Let me grab these last chats. If I miss you at the end, I apologize. There's a lot here. I really appreciate the support, though. Seriously, this is fantastic. But now I have lost my place. Here we go. Maja says, what states are most important to look at for this race? You've probably already talked about this, but I'm still confused. So, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, these are all very important. And Minnesota is too, but I think it's going to be pretty. I think Minnesota is probably pretty safe. Arizona, of course. Texas seems like other places are calling this, but I guess they haven't. I would say, Florida, Texas, but they're essentially called for Trump, as is Georgia. But again, maybe there's enough mail-in ballots to change this all. I don't know. But for sure, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Focus on those, and that'll give you an indication. If Biden can take those states, he's good. If not, well, we'll have that discussion later. Sidechain Recording says, put a hand in that chat if you're drunk. I assume that's not for me. But yes. I think a lot of people are drinking tonight, for sure. Red Moon says, former felons will get to vote in California now. Good shit. Yeah, a lot of the ballot measures, I got to check that stuff. Tomorrow or the next day, there's too much. Michael Novello says, I met a girl that wants to sponsor me getting married. There you go. Milo Wadlin says, good night, David. Good night, Milo. I said Milo, but it's probably Milo. Good night, Milo. Danielle Velez says, I was planning this champagne in a victory, but now I am just craving alcohol to numb the pain. Is Vancouver more expensive than living in New York City? It's probably about the same. I mean, I want to say New York City's more. Because in Vancouver, you don't got to worry about healthcare. As you know, that's one expense that's covered for you. But it's definitely similar. Clay Turnbull says, rest your voice. Something big might happen in a few days. You'll want your voice then. I hear that. Just looking at MSNBC. Trump leading in Florida. They're still saying too close to call in Florida. Even though Trump leads by a few points. Okay. All right. This has been fun. I really enjoy all the people here. Having a great time. I wish I could stay on longer, but I am dying. I'm going to sit back, relax, watch some other coverage. Probably going to engage in my... How do I say this without getting pulled down? In what is legal in Canada, that is not alcohol. Going to be engaging a little bit in that so I can relax a little bit. And this has been fun. Back tomorrow to give you, I guess, a proper... I am dying. Yes. Not just inside. I'm dying outside. Back tomorrow to give you a proper breakdown of whatever the hell went on tonight once more votes are in and we got a better idea. But thank you all for showing up. One last chat here coming in late, or maybe a few coming in late. One last chat coming in late. Danielle Velez says, well, I live in New York City and have done so for the last 48 years. I am ready to go. Oh yeah. Well, if you can afford New York City, I think you'll be fine in Vancouver. But good luck. All right. Thank you all for showing up. Fantastic. I'm back tomorrow. See you all then. Goodbye. One last thing. Hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe button, and join. All right. Now I'm going. Goodbye. Thank you.